MB Enclosures has his own YouTube channel, and this guy is an animal when it comes to designing boxes.
Unbelievable. I couldn't even believe that there was 2 8s in there.
This guy right here is doing something special.
I welcome y'all to MBE. What you about to see, box building in a different league. In this SQL scene, believe that money ain't a thing when it comes to its kings. Now that's fact, not fiction. Call 44694 48 then 18. Don't matter, you got 4 8s or 1 8 or anything between. He got what you need.
This is my crew. This is my gang. These are my kings. Okay, let's pull the TS parameters from the Concrete Audio C58d2. As you see, I got everything hooked up. I have it wired in parallel. And now we're gonna turn the camera this way. And I'm gonna zoom y'all in a little later. Let's go ahead and pull the parameters. Measure free air parameters. Boom, there go the noise. Okay. Oh, okay, that's nice. FS of 55 hertz right now. And that's after a little break in. I think I broke it in for sure over 6 hours. Technically, I went 10 hours. Yeah. On less than rated power. And I got the FS now is 555, which is respectable. That's nice. Especially with a 3-inch coil and an 8-inch driver. The QTS is 0.72, so that's leaning toward a seal, the infinite baffle. It's definitely a high, what you call a high Q driver. What you get with a high Q driver is you get an exaggerated bass response. So with the power applied, it's not very damped, so you're gonna get the exaggerated bass that you're looking for. Okay, that's what I say. That's a big plus. QES 0.79, QMS 8.2 with an LE of 0.5. Now what we're gonna do next is go ahead while we got this done, and we're gonna use this gram, this 2.5 pound weight. We're gonna put that on top of the woofer. I'm gonna go back over here. And I'm gonna let y'all see these numbers here closely. I was just reading them aloud to you. Now we're gonna measure the VAS, but first we gotta put in that this is a 7-inch, 7 diameter cone. Got a 7.5 inch cutout, pitch diameter 7 inches, and the added math method means that we have to put in how many grams, that's 2.5 pounds, which is 1134. 11.33.98. I'm just gonna round up and say 1134 grams. And now we're going to measure the VAS, this is highlighted, and hit OK. And the reason why we're gonna measure the VAS is gonna give us a generalized idea of what size box we would put in for optimum performance. Now, VAS always comes in low, particularly with these 8-inch drivers. Let me get y'all a little closer. Y'all can see the VAS is always comes in low. So you're supposed to take whatever the VAS is and multiply by 1.5 times to get you a good starting point in one box to put it in. But based on what you're trying to use it for, do not go by that with an 8-inch subwoofer. Stick with, if it's fairly low, then like it is here, the VAS is 0.11. Now 1.5 times that, I believe, is 1.5. What would that be? I'm dealing with a 1, so that's kind of throwing me for a loop. So let me show you. Let me get a calculator for y'all here. And let's see if we can calculate that out real quick. Pop. Google will tell you. It'll tell you everything. So we got a VAS 1 times calculator. Where's the calculator? Calculator. Here we go. 1.5 times 0.11, which is the box size, 0.112, I believe, equal to, whoa. So definitely small box performance, which means we're going to, since the VAS is so low, we're going to say the small box performance is going to be 0.5. I know I don't like to put it in 0.5, but it is geared towards small box performance. Interesting how all this stuff works out. The SPL is 80 for 1 watt, 1 meter. And we are moving a mass of 225 grams. That's how much the soft parts weigh with the carbon fiber cone and dust cap. So all that is within reason, within specs. Now let's let y'all see it move free air. So the height of the voice coil, I want y'all to look at that. It's pretty tall. Well, I just got the information that it is 1 1/4 inches above the top plate and 1.25 inches within. So the total winding height of the voice coil is 2.5 inches. The top plate is 0.75 inches thick with venting along the sides. Now with that being said, can y'all see that very well? I really want y'all to see that very, very well. Sorry, I had to plug that light on. So I want y'all to see that voice coil. Now that is, let's get inside so we can see it. That is a 8-layer flat round. Let's get real close. Flat round, 8-layer, flat round, aluminum voice coil on the BSAB former. That is 1.25 inches above and below the top plate. Let's back out. Now with that being said, let's go ahead over here and calculate. Use this formula to calculate the XMAX. And this is the industry standard. This needs to be verified with Kipple, which he said he has attained. Now, the top plate is 0.75 inches, 0.75 of an inch. So that means the top plate is 13.335 millimeters. The coil width is 2.5 inches, so its winding height is 63.5. Well, if you take 7% of the BL, which basically means that we're going to use only 7% of the BL, the length of the wire inside the coil, it comes up to 9.335 millimeters. You take 9.335 millimeters and subtract that from the total of the winding width, which is 63.5, you get 54.165 millimeters. Now, that's how much of the coil is going to stay within the BL, within 70% of the BL, within 70% of the BL. You take that number, 54.165, and divide it by 2, and that's going to give you the coil, the XMAX both ways, which is 27 millimeters XMAX. Okay, so we're gonna do a little frequency sweep. As y'all can see, I got it 720, 80, and 60 seconds. You just wanna see any kind of movement, see what the response is like. So we do have movement at 20 hertz, which is great. Looking to see if we see any bumps as we go along the frequencies, any challenges. So you would look at the woofer and the frequency. That's great. Okay. It's just throughout the stroke. Okay. Clean. As you see, it's going up in frequency, it's starting to not move that much. And this is where a lot of people go get their SPL at. They use woofers like this because it's moving very, very fast. Easy to get the SPL on the high score than it is on the low score. But you know, I'm always trying to get woofers that can play low, particularly 8-inch drivers. Not overly concerned with the FS being 55 because I had to, I broke it in for a little more than 6 hours. So it's got a 3-inch voice coil. It did come very stiff, which tells me one thing. I'm gonna go all the way back down before we really see it move. All right, which tells me one thing. With that QS being, I believe, what, 0.72? So it's loose. We need a big box, sealed box, or a big ported box to help control that cone because of that QES. So that's great for me because I'm 1.25 for 8. This might be one of the got ones that can go up 1.25, 1.5. One of them, these might be one of the 8s that can kill 10s, in my opinion. I do not know what the XMAX is. I'm gonna have to ask him to tell me that. And then we put them in the box, I have the information to give you. But I did let you see the TS parameters, and I will take another picture. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna have a little fun. So I've set the frequency sweep from 45 to 55. It's actually gonna cut those numbers in half. So this is gonna be 22.5. And I believe this is gonna be, what's that, 20, 25, 27.5. So from 22.5 to 27.5, that's the frequency range that's actually gonna be played with this amplitude. So we can move that many times, but they're gonna move the length of the lower note, the lower octave. Let's see. Just getting out there now, ain't it? Now this is what I kind of be having it done when I be breaking them in. Just having to move within this range right here, within the 20s, back and forth for hours. And this boy actually went 10 hours. Stroke look nice, don't it? Nice. So now it's finna come back down. Yeah, it's coming back down now. No dampening on the surround. And that's a 3-inch voice cord. That's what I want y'all to know. That's a 3-inch voice cord with that much movement. Pretty nice. Really nice. Yeah. Yeah, all we need to do now, all we need to do is get this boy in the box. So, I don't know if I touched on that on the other point, but I touched on that here. Well, I may have. Let's get this boy in the box.